In this video, I'll demonstrate how to configure VPN multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication can be required for VPN connectivity. Now, if you think about it, your VPN appliance is in some way exposed to the public internet to allow incoming VPN connections in the first place. So usually we want more than just standard username and password, which constitutes single-factor authentication. Instead, what we're going to do here is configure multi-factor authentication through the use of a smart card, where the user must have the smart card in their possession and they must know the PIN in order to authenticate to the VPN. Now, depending on your VPN solution, the specific steps will vary. We're going to do it here in the Windows Server 2012 environment. So from the Start menu, I'm going to type Network so that I can start the Network Policy Server tool. Now, if you're using a Windows Server as a VPN device, then this is the software that'll make it happen. Also, this is where you configure your radius server settings for centralized authentication, because as we know, VPN appliances themselves should never actually do the authentication locally in case they get compromised. So here in the Network Policy Server tool, over on the left, I'm going to expand Policies, and I'm going to go ahead and right-click after I select Connection Request Policies. There I'm going to choose New, and I'm going to call this Incoming VPN Smart Card. Now down below, for the type of network access server that this connection request policy will be used for, I'm going to choose Remote Access Server VPN Dial-Up, even though my users aren't using dial-up modems, they're connecting over the internet. And I'll click Next. Now, here in the Specify Conditions dialog box, I'm going to click the Add button, and in this case, notice I've got multiple criteria I can select, but I'm going to just choose the tunnel type. I want to specifically say here that I only accept connections here for Layer 2 Tunneling Protocol or L2TP, assuming that's what my VPN appliance is configured with. Because here, I'm not actually configuring the VPN appliance, I'm just configuring the requirement for multi-factor authentication. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and I'll click Next. Now, at the radius level, here I can determine whether authentication requests should be handled on this server, which is what I want because this is actually my radius server with Active Directory user accounts. But notice I do have the option of forwarding requests to a different radius server. Well, I would have the option if I had additional servers. Right now, it's currently grayed out. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next on this screen. I didn't change anything. Now, on the Specify Authentication Method screen, this is where we're going to do the work to specify that VPN clients must use multi-factor authentication. So to do that, I'm going to turn on the check mark here for the option that says Override Network Policy Authentication Settings, because we're going to specify them here. Now, under EAP types, I'm going to click the Add button. EAP, of course, stands for Extensible Authentication Protocol. And what I want to choose here is Smart Card or Other Certificate. So I'm going to choose that and click OK, and then I'll proceed through the wizard by clicking Next. Now I don't need to specify any other attributes, so I'll just continue through the wizard until I get to my summary screen where I will click Finish. So now I've got a connection request policy whereby it requires multi-factor VPN authentication through the use of a smart card. Now this is going to be used when we've got VPN appliances that forward radius authentication requests to this device. In this video, we learned how to configure VPN multi-factor authentication.